Death's Advocate here for my usual Sunday stream. Let me just make sure everything on the technical side is cooperating here. I think we're doing okay. Okay, so today I wanted to showcase the list I'd brought to the tournament, my Tempo Dojo deck. I thought it was going to perform pretty well. I think it is one of the strongest lists in the game, but I ended up getting kind of conned by con artist, and not to discredit my opponents. I had some very good opponents that played very well, and we had some good matches, but in the end, I drew, 5 or 6 con artist items in a row in both matches, and it was just a little too much. So my opponents, you're great. Yellow is one person that took the loss off me, and he went to win the tournament, so congratulations to him. But I think that's enough talking about yesterday. Let's talk about what's going on with this list here. I have made a small change to it since the tournament. I added Barbarian back in. This list has kind of been bouncing around between 3 different variations. We've got the variation you're looking at now. We've got the Vanish Valkyrie version, and then we have a little bit more of a tempo version that's running, you know, uh, Kunoichi, give or take another 2-drop like Master at Arms to, combo with Berserker. But and the one I played in the tournament, I think I had Kunoichi instead of Barbarian, but it was otherwise kind of the same list. But I think this is where I'm going to settle for the final draft now, after giving it a good bunch of testing all around. So let's actually talk about what we have going on here. So Dojo is the main reason this deck exists. Dojo got buffed kind of quietly out of nowhere, and it's turned out to be an incredibly powerful card now. Where, normally instead of Dojo, I'd run just the cheap replace package like Kunoichi and Moon, which I still do for a few decks, and Dojo kind of gets along with replace units since they have like their pseudo charge mechanic, but it doesn't get along very well with Mooncaster, and Kunoichi's low health's a little unappealing as well. So I just decided to completely opt out of the early curve to really maximize Dojo, especially because of how well Dojo works with Berserk units. And so while this, in theory, would leave me a little more vulnerable to, early aggro decks, between having a bunch of 3-drops that let me compete those pretty well, and Barbarian and Berserker, especially if they get buffed by Dojo, tend to clean up early aggression plays really well. So, and then similarly, Badger, while he doesn't have Berserk, when you replace a unit that's already active, it gets to act right away. So he gets to do similar crazy things with Dojo as well. Same deal with Wotan. The other, it's when it comes down to it, it's just kind of a tempo deck, playing all of the powerhouse, 4 health 3-drops. We've got the Ragnar Yarm Lightning play. Yarm gives us, a Swarm answer or a late game win condition that lets us beat a lot of other late game decks. We've got a lot of charge units because, again, charge combines both really well with Dojo and Valkyrie. Valkyrie, the other version of the deck kind of doubles down on Valkyrie, running Vanish and 2 copies Hover, but I moved away from that because there's a lot of matchups where your units are just not really dying to spells at all, so she's just kind of sitting awkwardly dead in hand, and especially being such an expensive, 9 gold card, she's one of the only non-legendaries that I often prefer as a singleton, just because of the fact that she may need longer to get her effect really activating, or it may never activate at all. And of course, we can still occasionally bounce her with Badger and Wotan, but it's not often a Valkyrie survive a full turn. But regardless, that's okay. I still feel like this singleton Valkyrie is serving the deck the best. Lets you curve into it a little cleaner, and in case you're in a matchup where she's not very effective, you don't have multiples sitting dead in your hand. Let's see, what else we got in here? We got a little bit of control with Shindaru. And Joff is, really nice here because we've got a pretty high curve, and especially if you bounce him a couple times with Badger, he can really just kind of take over a game, give you a massive lead. And we've got building answers with Kai Jr., Ragnar also. It's kind of a building spammer counter. Just, lots of good stuff, like really healthy curve, lots of good answers, kind of brutal dojo tempo, and well, it's not a particularly complicated list, but it's a very effective one. So let's stop yakking about it and see if we can go find a match or two with it. Nope, not that one. No, I don't want to play the Vanish Valkyrie version. Yeah, so the Vanish Valkyrie version, instead of Joff, it went for 2 Valkyries just because Joff doesn't get along with Vanish, and instead of Badger, we went for Vanish. But I think that version's pretty well retired at this point. Okay, looks like we got ourselves a match. So we really want to find either one of our 3 drops or our Berserk unit to go along with Dojo, so we don't need either of those right now. Hand's a little bit awkward right now, but buffing up a Minotaur or a Frost or a Wyvern Rider certainly doesn't hurt long term. Oh, we might be up against a very aggressive Beast Lightning deck, which is not great for the hand we're working with right now, but I think we'll be okay because, Peasant will clean up this Ramris, we'll throw down a Dojo, and if we have to, we can just do a naked Yuna play here. But if we're lucky, we'll also draw into our Berserker or Barbarian, and maybe Dojo will be kind to us. Okay, Mithril on the Ramris, that's valid. And it's looking like we'll probably end up just going to do a naked Yuna play. Not ideal, but that's what we're going for. There's really no reason to trade this peasant into this Ramris, so we're just going to go ahead and take that chip damage. I was kind of hoping it would go on the Yuna so she wouldn't feel as bad to play naked, but that's okay. Ooh, nice little Kai Jr. play. Oh my, and it was mine too. He stole it from me. I got robbed. Okay, Badger's a much nicer play than Yuna right now, so that'll help us. Get a little draw. We'll get to clean up this Ramris. And we had a little bit of an awkward start, and that definitely sets us back, but I think we're doing fine. Like, we'll recover and get into our more late game heavy shenanigans. Now, this particular matchup very rarely is going to kill my units with spells, so this is one of those matchups why I've decided to go more singleton Valkyrie. That Berserker, clean trade off that Berserker is very inconvenient here. Now, let's see. Definitely put in the hurt on. I really don't want to play the Yuna this turn. I really would like to kill that Berserker, but I don't have a way to do that short of playing the Yuna. This hand is very awkward. I might just have to accept a lot of face damage here. Which is definitely going to hurt, but it'll at least set us up really well for next turn. I think we're just gonna sacrifice our health in the interest of having a better next turn. It's a little bit risky with, how aggressive he's playing, and, he's almost definitely got the, Ragnar Yarm finisher here. Oh, interesting. He went for the Kai Jr. on the Dojo. Dojo just disappears so quickly. It almost never feels worth trying to damage. But we should have a very clean Wyvern Rider, kill the Kai Jr., and well, we'll actually see, because if we can fit a peasant in to kill the barbarian, or to kill the berserker, that would be ideal. Okay, let's see here. Do I have a way to play a peasant effectively? Yeah, we could do Yuna and peasant, but at that point, then it's the same. No, Wyvern Rider's the same Same deal here. But if we're lucky, we'll get the Berserker to go after the Frost Drake instead of. I need to make sure I position this correctly so that my Frost Drake spawns right. Alright, so it looks like we're just going to need to do a little bit of an awkward backline Wyvern Rider, because otherwise this Frost Drake may have spawned wrong. So it's 50-50 shot here. If we're lucky, hey, good Berserker. Good Berserker. You went where we needed you to go. Okay. Early lightning play there, but you know he's always got the second copy to go with Ragnar, and he's really putting the hurt on. So, ooh, pack hunting. I wonder if he's got a little bit of a last will engine for Owlbear, or if that's just going to be sharks and rabbits here. Alright, so it might be a Uniplay turn. Okay, yeah, I think, okay, Kai Jr., buffed up Kai Jr. just because he's big. I don't know, is it worth playing the Una right now? Because next turn we could do the Peasant Mithril, which will curve into her a lot better. So yeah, we're going to hold off on Una for now. Well, I'm potentially playing into Frostwhirl here. We haven't seen any Frost shenanigans, so Frostwhirl's not terribly likely. No, let's play around Frostwhirl. We don't really need. It's a tough call there whether you want to play around the Frostwhirl or have the Warrior in prime cleave position. But I think if he is going to play a Guardian, hopefully Kai Jr. will be able to answer it. If it's a Yarm Giant, maybe not. But oh well. I just don't want to play into the Frostwhirl, just in case. Okay, so that's probably a bunch of bunnies from that pack hunting there. Is my audio working? I'm pretty sure it is. Hold on. Technical difficulty check. Testing the audio. Testing. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. I need to finish with my turn here. I probably should have done Wotan, but I didn't. It's too late, so I guess we're just going to go for the awkward Sayaka play. I wonder if that cancels out Yuna's buff or not. Okay, looks like she... Well, actually, I don't remember. Did she get a dojo buff? Don't know. Alright, let's continue playing around the Frost World here. I wonder if that cancels out Yuna's buff. Very clean trade for him. Just rapid and overpower. Okay, solid. Well, my hand's a little bit awkward. I missed my really good Wotan opportunity. And I could play a Minotaur, but it doesn't feel great. I may just Mithril and pad my health a bit. See if I can find something else worth playing. Well, I didn't, but that's okay. A Peasant transitions into Wotan pretty nicely. And, we could have just played a Minotaur, but, like, we're pretty sure he's got another rabbit in hand, so I'm just playing it safe here. Have we lost anything to spells? I don't think so, because there really aren't. Well, we might have lost a couple things to this Yarm Lightning. So, okay. Well, yeah, let's go for the... Well, actually, no, because Minotaur trades into the Valkyrie. Let's use our bigger Minotaur, which will survive this trade. Never mind, I'm bad at math. Hi. How embarrassing. That was a massive waste. Oh well, it happens. Alright, well, maybe now we'll go for the Valkyrie play. I think we're still at a pretty good position. We've got the Ragnar Yarm combo now, so we just need to get his health a little bit lower here. Because that's 9 out of hand. Well, actually, no, there's no trading posts, so maybe we hold off on the Valkyrie in favor of the Wyvern Rider. Yeah, the Wyvern Rider is a much cleaner trade right now, so that's what we're going to go for. This sets us up for a good Wotan play. Yeah, that's only 6 damage with the Yarm and Ragnar right now, so we've got to whittle him down quite a bit here. It's my Tempo Dojo list, Muck. Thanks for stopping by. Ooh, double rabbit. Okay, so we're still not going to get the Wotan play. Alright, well now, well, okay, this rabbit's a little awkward. Maybe it's a Yarm Lightning turn? Actually, Minotaur's not bad here. Yeah, let's do the Minotaur and a Peasant. That way, Rabbit has a chance of just offing itself, and if it does kill the Minotaur, that's okay. At least we get a second draw, so we're good with that either way. Rabbit going after the Peasant would definitely be ideal, though. Oh well. No luck there, but that's okay. Alright, well, he's very well healed himself up, so we're not going to be getting a Ragnar. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Actually, this might be the Ragnar turn. Yeah, this is a pretty good Ragnar turn. Or alternatively, we could do the Yenneroth, because that could potentially set us up even more for the Ragnar play, but the problem with the Yenneroth right now is our hand is a little too full, so it's Ragnar time. Our health is a little dangerously low. We are at risk of losing to an enemy Ragnar play here. Sequencing's important here. Ah, dang, we got the bad sequence. Oh well, this is fine. Alright, so we could do the Yenneroth. We could do the Valkyrie. Our hand isn't too full for Yenneroth anymore. I'm leaning towards the Valkyrie play because it sets us up for a good Wotan. But also... Yeah, we're just going to do the Valkyrie play. It's all only... Well, we could do Joff instead. We could do Joff, Barbarian... Maybe we'll do the Joff play. Yeah, we'll do the Joff play. Barbarian will clean up the rabbit. I don't know if I actually want that. I can't do Barbarian and Shinjuru, unfortunately. But I can do Barbarian and a Peasant. Not ideal, but I think that's what we're going to go for. Hmm. I could have badgered the Joff, but the whole point of that play was to try and get multiple bodies on the field. Alright, this might be a Yenneroth turn. I think he's got a cancel magic going on there. It's a pretty good Yenneroth turn, but again, I really want to try and get set up for a Wotan finish here. I think the Yenneroth is too good to pass up right now. And then we'll probably end up doing like a get past the cancel magic with the arm. Well, let's just see what happens here. Alright, so we'll set up the Yenneroth and see where that takes us. Now that almost definitely is a cancel magic, which means... Okay, so maybe what I need to do... Hold on, okay, I think I can do... Oh yeah, I have exactly enough gold to bust the cancel magic with the Shindaru, and then badger the Yenneroth. The problem with that, though, is if he's got Yarm Ragnar, which is incredibly likely, I'm just dead. Let's see. I mean, I don't see how I can get a Wotan lethal because of this cancel magic, though, unfortunately. I don't have enough... Well, okay, let's see. In case it's not a cancel magic... Yeah, it's a cancel magic, as we expected, which now I've messed up and... Yeah, no, that's his barbarian. I messed up. I had this whole plan of Shenderu first and then to clear the field, but now I'm in trouble because I messed up my sequencing there. That's really bad. I had a good way to at least clear the board. It left me vulnerable to a counter Ragnar here, but oh well, things happen. Let's see. What can I do to get out of this messy situation? Not much, unfortunately. Well, okay, so we'll block here. Do a trade there. I'm probably losing this one now because I messed up my chance to completely clear his field there. I talked about exactly what I needed to do. I talked about needing to blow past the cancel magic. Although, there's still a chance. If he doesn't kill me this turn, I very well may be winning still. Because I still have the Ome plus Wotan play here. Got almost died. Oh no. Come on, Rabbit. Go after the... Good, Rabbit. Okay. Wotan for the win. Alright, well, I very nearly threw this match. On a couple occasions there, I said what I needed to do, declared it, and then promptly did the exact opposite of it twice during this game. That's what I get for trying to stream and play at the same time. Do as I say, not as I do. A very distracted player on the stream. Alright, well, since everyone's here now, we'll just do a quick recap of the deck, since I think everyone missed it at the beginning, but this is the Tempo Dojo list. Lots of Powerhouse 4 health 3 drops, lots of Berserk, mixes nasty with Dojo, a couple fancy bounce plays, lots of Charge to mix with Valkyrie and Dojo, and of course, Ragnar Yarm Lightning finisher. Very strong, very reliable. This is what I brought to the tournament. I was pretty confident I was going to sweep the tournament with it, but, Con Artist had other things to say about it. So let's go ahead and queue up for another match here. Probably should have queued before doing the deck review, but I suppose we can talk about it a little bit longer while we're waiting for that queue. So I've bounced around between a few different versions of this. This is the kind of final draft that I'm pretty sure I've settled in until a patch comes along. The other two versions are a more early game list with Kunoichi and Master at Arms or the Vanish Valkyrie angle, but this is definitely the preferred. Alright, so we're going. Hey, it's Jay. Oh no, is this a mirror? Alright, so we're going. Well, on the off chance that we're about to face Aggro Swarm, I'm going to keep this Yarn Lightning. Normally I wouldn't, but considering these colors, I gotta keep it just in case. So we're going to toss these away in hopes of getting a 3-drop or a Berserker to pair with this Dojo. Sensei, okay. Well, that might be Aggro Swarm, but it doesn't tell us anything for sure. Sensei is just a pretty good card in general. So depending on what he does, we're either going to, play a Dojo for the long game, or we'll get a Berserker going. We're probably going to get a Berserker going because trading into one attack units is kind of Berserker's jam here. Alright, yeah, let's just go ahead and set up the Berserker just to stave off this aggression here. Berserker is very good at cleaning up early game pushes. Don't have any good Dojo targets, but that's okay. We don't have to play Dojo if we don't want to. We're probably going to, because we don't have anything else to do currently. Don't really want it buffing a Yinneroth, though, because Yinneroth is already removal bait as it is. Okay, pretty solid play there. Got some extra damage push and cleared off the Berserker. So this might just be a Yarn Lightning turn. Doesn't feel great, but I don't know if I want to let that much damage come at my face right now. I do have the backup Yarm in hand, so we're just going to go ahead and clear this off because, playing a Dojo, there's nothing in hand we want it to buff right now. If this is an aggro deck and he didn't just, draw his whole early curve here, then I do need to be trying to keep myself healthy. So I think that was just the best thing we had at the moment. Another Sensei. May just be Dojo and Peasant turn. Oh, okay, no, Barbarian. We'll take Barbarian. Now, alternatively, I could wait and do the Barbarian next turn, but considering how aggressive he's being, like, we need to play for the now, not the later. Okay, so I think it's Dojo time. Yeah, it's probably what we're going to do. I'm going to actually do a very aggressively placed Dojo, just because A, like, there's nothing we actually want it to buff right now, and B, I really want to just protect my castle health as much as possible right now. Like, if we lose the Dojo, I can live with that. Yeah, Jay's playing kind of the more early draft of. Well, I mean, I think he's actually just playing kind of a proper aggro deck rather than what I was talking about with the, the two drop version of this. Jay's playing kind of the more early draft of. Well, I mean, I think he's actually just playing kind of. He didn't go for the dojo clear. I think that's because he's stream sniping me. He knows this dojo isn't doing jack right now. Okay, I really don't want to spend a Shinjuru on a Gorgon, but okay, yeah, Jay is sniping me and knows that this dojo isn't doing shit right now. uh, Alright. So the con artist play works, but that invites a lot of potential damage from this Gorgon. Considering we are up against a very aggressive deck here, we really want to try and just protect our health as much as possible. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and play a less than optimal play there, just to try and protect our health as much as possible here. Because if we can stabilize, we can start pushing back here. Sure you did. You had a peasant and a 4 attack Gorgon. You had exactly enough damage to kill the dojo should you have wanted to. Eesh, there's a Wotan. Okay, I may just be dead anyways, because I don't have anything that can reach this now. Yep, I am in trouble. Not sure if I could have played it differently here. Well, yes, I could have. I could have not wasted the Ome on that. Well, we can try to draw another one. We can try to draw another one. We failed to draw what we needed. On the bright side, we are not actually dead to this Wotan, but I am sure he can find 1 extra damage, so alas. So, probably dead regardless. I made just a little too greedy of a play. Well, it wasn't greedy. Like, with the information I had at the time, I think that was the right option, but it doesn't always work out. And that's okay. Now we're surviving with 1 health here. Okay, now there's the arm lightning, and that's it. Oh well, it was a good game. I had a bit of an awkward hand, and I had a difficult choice to make. I think I made the right choice for the information I had at hand. There's only one Wotan in the deck. There's potentially, you know, 6-ish removals between Omei, Dissipate, uh, Multi-Strike. So I played the odds, but doesn't always work out. Alright, so let's see here. We like Barbarian. Barbarian's very good for any early game pushes and mixes well with Dojo, so now we're keeping Barbarian and looking for our 3 drops, ideally Dojo. There's our Dojo. I will probably metal into that Dojo, since that gives us a good curve. Or maybe I'll metal into the Kai Jr. Yeah, okay, we're going to do that instead. Just get a big body out and 1 less body in hand, so that Dojo is more likely to go onto our fast units here. Ultraviolet misplayed slightly. You can walk through inert units now, so he missed the chance to get a free little bit of extra damage on my castle there. Where did the Dojo both go? On the Wyvern Rider. That's probably the best target for us right now. Barbarian will clean up this peasant for us. A little awkward now, but I think we're just going to go for the con artist and the peasant. We could do the Vaskerheim. That's actually probably the better bet. Yeah, we're going to do that. Just that's a lot more of a threat. Dark mirror. Where did the dark mirror come from? It wasn't a con artist mirror. What contraband did he play? I don't remember him playing contraband. Oh, he played a smuggling ring. Okay. Okay, yeah, we've got a handful of buffed charge units, which is very nice. And we've got the Ragnar in hand, so there's no reason not to spam Joff now. Yeah, if we're lucky, we'll even get like a really big Joff play, and we can just play Joff and Wyvern Rider. Given we are coming up on the end of day's turn soon here, so this is kind of our last turn that's safe to overextend. So, do we... Hey, we get the big overextend. Very nice, very nice. Perfect. Exactly what we want. One turn before end of days shows up when this is no longer a good idea to do. There's the Frost Whirl. I thought about playing around the Frost Whirl. I thought about it, but I'm like, nah, he hasn't played. He's only played the one contraband card. He probably doesn't have it, and most of this I was going to do anyways. The only thing I could have done differently was pulling the Drake down, which I thought about doing, but of course I didn't do it. One time, if he was playing blue, I would have done it, but he was not playing blue. Alright, so I think just more Joff spam. Yeah, we've pretty much got the game secured with the Ragnar Yarm in the end game. We just now need to whittle him away a bit more, because as long as we don't fuss with the depot, that's 9 damage to castle. He throws out something else kind of healthy, and that starts adding up real quick. Do we just Joff it up again? Doesn't feel great to Joff right now, but it's not like anything else feels good either. I suppose we could do the Yenroth. That is a big body there. Yeah, let's do that. That's a plenty big threat, and That's better than doing some overextend into an end of days now. There's the Joan Vive. Pretty respectable Joan Vive. However, it's not enough to actually even kill that Yenneroth, which is going to be very bad for him. I have a very... I don't want to do the Ragnar play yet because I want Yenneroth to land. So we may be doing... Could do Joff. Joff and Yuna would clear the Joan Vive pretty well. So let's do okay with Vaskerheim. Play the Kai Jr. And now a pretty sizable Sayaka. And get enough slap on face that the Ragnar Yarm will be a finisher now. Even if he ends the days, that's still just a clean win there. Well, it's, right, because it is 8 damage with this board state here. Because you get 3 from Yarm, 3 from Ragnar, and 6 from Ragnar, but 1 of which goes to Deepa. So that is exactly 8 castle damage there. Yeah, unless he heals now, it's pretty much game over. Because, yeah, no Angel will not save him because the order of operations, the last will not spawn before Ragnar finishes doing his thing. So exact lethal. I was fairly confident I was going to take the tournament with it, but Con Arnis did very mean things. But that's okay. Yellow, I'm glad Yellow won. Like, he's a really cool dude. He's really nice, and he's put in the work. He's did a lot of studying. He of both of his opponents. He practices matchups a bit. You know, he and I would chat about deck building often. So like, he's really put in the work. I was glad he took it. If I was going to lose to anyone, I was glad it was him. Even though it was the God Artists. Alright, really, there's nothing in this hand we want to keep right now. I mean, we might consider the arm, but nah, there's really nothing we want right now. We want to find our dojos and 3-drops. Alright, so to play the dojo or the 3-drop. Probably the dojo, or no, probably not the, probably the 3-drop. Just because that gives dojo a better chance to go onto our surprise units. Ooh, Forbidden City. That could end very poorly for him in the long game there. That is really opening him up to a Ragnar finisher. With that in mind, I may even want to avoid playing the guy Jr. Because I don't think he's going to be getting enough hand to really make use of School of Time. I guess we're going to play the Kai Juniors anyways, just because we don't have anything else to play. Oh, good. School. We want the church to survive. These ones can go. maybe we do need to be concerned about School of Time here. Alright, yeah, well, we've got the Kai Juniors to help out. Okay, well, he's quickly dumped his hand back down to a much more manageable size here. Okay, and the threat of school is just gone now. Got very nice buffed up hands here. I hope he doesn't force us in playing this Yarm Lightning, because this is just a lot of Ragnar damage. Double Yarm sitting in hand with tempting fields to use it on, but I hope we can hold off on this Yarm until the Ragnar, because that's going to be a very big Ragnar. I guess it's not that big now that I killed both of the schools, but it's fine. And is getting a little awkward now. I really don't want to blow my Wotan, but Wotan's really the only clean play I have. Like, I could do a double Yarm, but that really hurts my end game. I could do Yarm and Sayaka, which is fine, but not great. And then we may just be playing the naked Wotan. Tough choice, though, between blocking the Lava Giant or the Bone Drake. I think we lose out more health to the Lava Giant long term. So, let's see, we get, no, because we're going to kill that with the Minotaur, so that's 3 damage. Okay, so we block the Bone Drake, and then we clear the Bone Drake with Wotan and clear Lava Giant with Minotaur. Of course, if a Soul Destroy pops down, we could be in trouble. Doesn't feel great playing the naked Wotan, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Oh boy, he is making it more and more tempting to use these Yarm Lightnings. But we're going to resist. Do we want to use the bigger Minotaur or the smaller Minotaur? Let's see. 3. Okay, so it's an even trade between Phantom Horse and there, so 3. But it's also an even trade between. Okay, let's save the bigger Minotaur in case there's something we need to kill. This would be a very nice time for Ragnar to make an appearance. This would be just a devastating Ragnar. May just be another Minotaur turn, or we'll see what happens. Or it may be a Sayaka turn. No, I think the Minotaur's good because it'll give me a good chance to find to draw into that Yarm, because we're going to get potentially 3 trades here, because we'll kill the horse, which will remove some pressure. Then Berserker will run off and kill that, and then he still has to trade something else into it. So that feels pretty good, inching us closer and closer to finding that Ragnar finish. Okay, well, we got a clean trade there. Not that the Ragnar is just going to instantly win the game. It's just it's gonna hurt. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is a pretty good Una turn because we can Barbarian. Want to Barbarian in a way that it's going to get a clean trade. Actually, let's maybe we aim him at the Norabon. Right, so aim him at the Norabon. Go ahead and just give ourselves a little extra castle buffer. And then clean up this threat here. And that's pretty good. Alright, come on, Ragnar. We're waiting. We're waiting. We are struggling not to use these yarms because he keeps tempting us. Oh yeah, I forgot Merchant's Estate adds contraband now. The temptation for Yarm grows. I think it's too risky to play the Joff too. I don't want to make my Ragnar disappear before we get a chance to use him. Alright, so let's see here. I think we're going to do, it's Waven Rider and Barbarian time. So, more Barbarian. Do we take the Dracula clear? No, we just freeze the Dracula. I positioned that a little poorly because now that opens it up to the Grave Knight, but that's okay. I can live with that. He was going to die to a zombie regardless. Come on, Ragnar. Oh yeah, I probably should have taken the Dracula trade because I forgot about castle, because Una was going to die to the castle either way, and that would have... it doesn't make a huge difference. If I'd done it the other way around, then the castle would have just finished off the Snow Drake, the Frost Drake. Alright, come on, Ragnar. It's time. I don't want to play Joff until you show up. We are still waiting on you. Alright. Good Barbarian. Hit a good target for us. Do we? Yeah, I think we do some Con Artist bouncing just to mess up his deck. And further try to dig out that Ragnar. Come on, Ragnar. We're waiting. Put this game on pause for a long time. And this game's been going on. I really wanted that Ragnar early on to really just turn the tide of aggression in my favor. Him taking this long to show up is starting to put us in, screams and Leviathan danger. Oof. Oh, come on, Ragnar. Don't make me use the arm now. Ah. I think he's forced my hand. It's unfortunate, but I cannot in good faith, leave this on my face here. Unfortunate. We tried. We tried so hard not to do this. But that is just way too much in my face. Perhaps we do just do the Joff at this point too. But the Wyvern Rider is much cleaner. Well, Joff gives us... no, the Wyvern Rider is too good not to do right now. Need to not mess up my spawn, though. This should spawn the Drake up, I believe. Okay, there we go. Well, I may not actually be winning this one now. That I lost the big Ragnar damage. That definitely hurt. We are very much in danger of screams. Yep. Despite our best efforts to pollute his deck there, it didn't work out. Alright, luckily tombstones will absorb this a little bit. But that's still a lot of health we need to get on board. So we'll start with Joff. That is not what we were looking for. Suppose I could Badger the Joff, but no, that doesn't work. Alright, so... okay, well, we know we're Berserker, and I want to keep this Berserker far away from the tomb. Because I need every little scrap of health I can get right now. I think I survived barely, but yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble now. Because I'm just now in danger of Dracula Castle pinging me to death, and Joff even got rid of one of my Mithrils, so I can't even recover much health. I have exactly one turn left that I can even do. Oh, mortar. Okay, yeah, nope. Unfortunately, oh, double mortar. All right. Unfortunate. Sometimes you can't find the Ragnar, and I waited too long to use him. I should have just used the Yarm early on so that I could have swung things back earlier, but it was another situation of, with the information I had at hand, I had to make a decision. There wasn't a clear right or wrong, but I picked the one where the odds were in my favor long term, but another situation where while I played the odds that were in my favor, it just didn't work out. It happens sometimes. I do think it's a very strong list with a positive matchup against pretty much anything, but, sometimes games just don't always work out. It happens. There's definitely a lot of skill left in the game, but the game has definitely moved a lot more in the luck direction, which isn't a bad thing. That and, people are just catching up to me. I had a big head start with just raw hours, but between people getting a lot of practice in themselves and everyone else figuring out the strong decks, the games have been becoming a lot closer now, which again, is not a bad thing. I do miss some of our, slightly more skill-oriented gameplay, but we still have a good deal of it. Like, there is still a very clear difference between a new player and an old player. And we've got a nice little balance there that gives new players a chance. It doesn't feel so, overwhelmingly one-sided. Yeah, the game's in a pretty good spot, but yeah. Do want to see Con Artist go down one health and still a little iffy on Dojo, but Dojo hasn't also been slam dunking games. Obviously there are Kai Jr. messes it up. Obviously it didn't quite carry me through the tournament. Uh, so it's fine. Hold on, did I just queue up with the wrong deck? I think I did. I need to just delete the Valkyrie version. Like I Valkyrie version, you are retired. You are very cool in principle, but you're a little too risky to play. This new fellow's asking for a match. He may regret this. Okay, so too early for either of them. We like our 3-drops, though. Actually, I probably should have kept Yuna, just because she's a really nice coin play early on. But, well, it happens. This lets us just coin into the warrior without worrying about it. Could have alternatively just peasant and then curved out normally and saved the coin later on for Yuna, but there's no guarantee she's going to show up anytime soon, so probably wasn't worth holding on to it. Could do the dojo. Doesn't feel great, but I think we're gonna do the dojo just because it'll like Barbarian's gonna clean up this faithful Drake anyways. He's also liable to just pull the Drake into the Vaskerheim, so we're just gonna go ahead and prep our dojo for later here. You could. Well, let's see. We got the Kai Junior. Not the best target, but that's okay. I want to really like Priest, but Priest buffing a supply depot always feels so bad, so I don't know. If Priest didn't bluff Supply Depot, he'd be an amazing card. That being said, buffing a Supply Depot is not a bad thing either. I don't know. I don't know. Priest is really cool in theory. Like premium stats for 2-drop with potential giant health swing, but he's just a little too awkward for my tastes. Barbarian will clean up the priest nicely. Ooh, transcribe. That's a very nice transcribe for him. Perfect 0-cost card. Dojo insisting that Kai Jr. wants to grow up to be like his dad over here, despite there being so many other good options, but that's okay. We can have. There, there needs to be a suffix in between junior and senior. Any baptism, my barbarian. Okay, so he's just gonna throw these barbarians back at me. Luckily, barbarian will clean itself up on my very big little Kai Junior here. Alright, so do we play it? We don't want to play a peasant, though. It's a question of do we buff up the Kai Junior or the Mithril? I think with Dispel being close to high risk as it is, let's not double down there. Let's just pad our health here just in case. Hey, Berserker, that's a nice little dojo proc there. Not a great time to be playing a barbarian, though, because that's just going to kill itself and not body block. I think it is. It's a good time for draw. Ah, shame. We didn't get the extra Berserker in here. But that's okay. We're just going to go for overextend mode because we want to be doing that before the 9 gold turn. We want to apply as much pressure as possible before 9 gold. And once 9 gold hits, we need to be a lot more conservative. We could clear that with a Wotan, but I don't know if that's worth doing. Okay. Yeah, okay, well, we'll go for the Wotan play. That's very much he better answer that Wotan or he's in trouble. Oh, Stone Drake, okay. This kind of forces his hand to play a Yarm Lightning if he has it. We're still got, one turn before all of his other AoEs. If he doesn't have a Yarm Lightning, this is probably game over here. Early Ragnar. Oof. Naked Ragnar. And I've got a... Alright, so we clear this. We come in here, get a big cleave. We are one short of lethal there, but Berserker will swing in, clean up the Ragnar, and what else we want? I guess we'll see what dwarf offer we get. Ah, I should have done the dwarf offer sooner. Could have won with the Frog Prince. Oh well. We'll go till we finish our quest today, and we'll call the stream there. So we've got 4 more games, maybe? We'll see how hungry I get here. It is lunchtime. Yeah, alright, we get a rematch with Jay. Good deal. Alright, so we like Berserker. Berserker's very good at pushing back any early pushes. We've got a 3-drop. Okay. Much less awkward of a hand this game. Now, is this aggro? Is it swarm? Or is it a mirror? Okay, well, we're pretty good either way. We've got this for swarm, this for, we're no dojo, but that's okay. We're pretty happy with this hand no matter what direction we're going here. He's making the tough decision whether to trade in with this warrior or not. It is probably the right play for him to trade with the master and then block with the peasant, because anything else he does is just risking getting punished by the cleave. But it depends what he's got in hand. Okay, a gorilla. That's awkward. That plays right in. That was a mistake. That gives me a massively good cleave target with the Berserker trade. That was the one move he should not have made there. Oh, bad Berserker. You should have gone forward. I think I could have at least prevented. Okay, at least it doesn't matter. Berserker is going down either way. Well, my hand is now very awkward, so we're just going to do absolutely nothing. I think the Wyvern Rider plays good, although I think we actually sacrifice the health on the Wyvern Rider because either all of his clear is no difference between 1 health and 3 health, so this gives us 2 bodies on board. And we're playing around the Frost World this time. Not that I think he runs it, but just in case. Because we've seen both Master at Arms, I believe. Okay, so I guess I did make a small mistake there. I figured we'd seen the Master at Arms. Yeah, we'd seen both Master at Arms. Alright, well, let's see here. Yep, definitely Joff turn. And okay, I think we're going to also throw in the Uniplay as well, which will transition very nicely to next turn. That's a very big Una. Don't mind her being frozen. A very nice follow-up. He's not risking any big shenanigan plays from me, which is perfectly fair. Do we do the fancy play with the Arm Lightning for the extra damage, or do we just set up the big fancy play? I think we just set up the big play. It's really not worth using a Yarm right now. And we've also got a very nasty Valkyrie since he's done plenty of spell kills. Alright, very good Valkyrie turn. And we even got a nice little trough to clean that up. And if we're lucky, the Valkyrie survives the turn. The Valkyrie does not survive the turn, but I also did not give him... Oh, the Valkyrie does survive the turn. Ah. Well, yeah, I was going to have a devastating Wotan play there. Well, shame before he quit before we got to do our little play we'd been waiting for, but that's okay. That happens. Got another match real quick here. That's against our new fellow. Feel a little bad bullying him. Alright, so we like Vasker into Berserker. Now we just want to find a dojo to go along with it. Or another 3-drop so we can coin Vasker. But nothing so far. We would like another 3-drop, please. War Party, interesting. I think we're still going to do the coined Vaskerheim. I do just need to be careful of how I play into his. It's a tough call between threatening Castle with Vaskerheim, but I think that's what we're going to do. I just need to keep it out of his Vaskerheim reach, and this doesn't put the Penguin as far forward as we want, but I think that's still the better deal. Penguin can clear off a blocker, which gets Vaskerheim all the way in. Hey, Redmaster, thanks for stopping by. Oh, you got a pretty solid priest buff there. Oh, but he made the trade. Ah, poor guy. He's due. He'll learn. Oh, he's playing so hard into the Vaskerheim. Oh, feel bad for him. This is mean. This is mean. But what better way to learn than to, really see what your opponent can do here. I definitely think Tempo Dojo is one of the best decks in the game. It's very, very fun, very powerful. Your other two versions of it are, of course, Jay's much more aggressive. You can you can skip the dojo entirely, or you can still include it. Either way here. Oh yeah, this is exactly that. I'll go ahead and show you the list again while we're waiting for our next match. But no, it's very, very fun, very powerful little list here. I expect, yeah, in the more aggressive variants, the dojo does not suit it nearly as well. But for the tempo version, dojo is what is making the deck kind of tick here. So you've got the aggro version, which gets the little 2-drop suite to go along with Berserker. You've got the Valkyrie Vanish version, which can be very good, but it's too meta dependent for my tastes. And then you've got the Tempo version, which is what I'm playing now, which is definitely my favorite of the bunch. It's the most well-rounded. Alright, well, hopefully Barbarian will go off first so we get a little extra damage, but either way, it will be fine. Hey, good deal. Got the preferred order. I don't know about Stone Drake. I'm not a fan, just because it gives too much control to your opponent. It's not a bad card. Like it's definitely solid, but it's just not for me. Not my style. All right, let's see. What are our good options here? Like we could Shindaru that, but that doesn't feel great. We could do a little Wyvern Rider play. That's might be our best bet. We need to keep in mind Yarm Lightning, but at least Yarm Lightning will activate the Stone Drake. Yeah, Stone Drake's definitely like a solid card. I'm not actually running him. He showed up out of like a war party that my enemy played. All right, so decisions. I think the Wyvern Rider's probably our best bet. That will clean up. Do I want to free? Yeah, I think we're freezing the Frost Giant either way. Stunchick certainly has cases. Like, he's in theory good for swarm decks as AoE protection. He's in theory good for, you know, uh, Molten Pillar decks. Like, he's definitely a really cool card. It's a good design, but I don't really run him for the most part. But I don't have anything against him either. He's pretty cool all around. There's the Arm Lightning, which activates our Stone Drake and preps our Valkyrie for later. Do we want to let him have our... Ah, okay. We've got the Wyvern Rider. No decisions need to be made. At this point, we're just waiting for the Ragnar finish. Unfortunate with the Ome in hand. That was not where he wanted that to land. Need to play around. Oh, actually, I don't need to play around Frost Whirl because it's game over. Alright, we'll queue up and then we'll do another very quick deck review here. Oop, actually, I have to take a work call first. Alright, what was your name? Well, that's unfortunate. My work call was not actually very long, but my mic decided to turn itself off. So I've been talking to the ether for the past 10 minutes here. Whoops. This has been my least professional quality stream yet. Oh well, that's okay. I thought I had lots of cool things to say and share, but oh well. My cat was listening. Well, not really. He's asleep, so not even the cat was listening. I need to actually end my turn here. My work call was not actually very long, but my mic decided to turn itself off. So I've been talking to the ether for the past 10 minutes here. Whoops. This has been my least professional quality stream yet. The double shutter. I see red lurking in the lobby. I do want to get uh, I want the final game to actually be against a experienced opponent. Although Delbra's doing well for himself, he's got a pretty solid Frost Dragon list, and he hasn't been discouraged and keeps coming back for more here. All right, so now we're going to trade here, and we know we're going to trade here. I think we kind of have to. Is it worth Shinderuing that right now? Probably not, actually. Especially when we can just frost it. And we'll get a good Uniplay set up here. Well, that's a big con artist. I hadn't even noticed the Dojo piling onto there. Yeah, Dojo just does so much work. It's not like an automatic pick. Like it doesn't fit every deck well. If you're running things like Mooncaster, it can be counterproductive. And if you're really aggressive, the tempo loss isn't great. But for decks like this that are running a bunch of charge units, it is really powerful. So we'll do a quick deck recap, and then if Red hasn't found himself a game, we will go answer his little lobby challenge in here. Alright, so we'll do a quick deck recap. Actually, no, we should probably fight Red before we do the full deck recap, and then we'll close the stream out with a deck recap. Red bringing purple, black. I'm wondering if this is the Bounce Mordanoff list. It's a really cool list. Chaos and I were working on it together there for a while. We think we've found a way to make it fairly competitive, but it's always been a little bit of a tricky list to play. Just the lack of AoE in those two colors is always leaving some glowing red weak spots, and trying to bounce Mordanoff is often a tempo loss. But there are definitely some cool ways to do it. And, the ability to bounce Mordanoff or Norabon or even a Grave Knight is really cool. But I always have a little bit of trouble finding the right balance for those decks, but I think we've cracked it. I'm curious to see what Red's approach is. Okay, I'm seeing the Frost Lich. I'm strongly suspecting that this is a Mordanoff bounce list. I wonder if Red has figured out kind of the secret sauce of the deck that makes it work well of Grendel and Library. That's kind of the missing key that made that deck really click for Chaos and I. bit of an awkward turn here, but I think we're just going to take this trade. Because the Tombstone, assuming I'm correct in my Berserk theory here, and he's guaranteed to walk forward, the Tombstone will block the Frost Lich's advance on the Berserker. Some little skeletal squire draw here. Yeah, pretty sure this is a Mordanoth. I'm just curious to see what Red's version's looking like, and again, wonder if he's done the fancy Grendel library trick, which was really what made that deck click for when Chaos and I were fussing with it. Berserker's just gonna clean up some tombstones for us, which is always good. Hand's definitely been a little bit awkward here. Very awkward hand. I don't know if it's really worth Shinderuing this Phantom Horse. We have so little else to play right now, so I mean, that may just be what we're doing for lack of a better option. Would have been better to save that for a Grave Knight or maybe even a Mordanoth, but I just did not want to do a turn skip. Given I'm not opposed to turn skips, I will often do those when appropriate. I just didn't feel right in this moment. Alright, we've got our backup Shinjuru now, so we're good either way. We've got a pretty clean trade here. Nice little Norbon. Okay. Ooh, pretty high roll there. Anytime you get the Grave Knight, that's a good deal. Alright, let's see. We're definitely playing the Minotaur. It's just a question of what are we aiming it at. Probably the Norbod, just because versus ninjas it is way too risky to leave that Norbon sitting around. So let's deal with that potential problem now. That'll be a nice follow-up soon. Let's pull Yuna back, just so if he does want to kill him, those tombstones are sitting there awkwardly on the back line. Also, make sure he has to pull the warrior back rather than the grave knight. Okay, multi-strike. That was a good follow-up there. It's probably going to be a Ragnar turn. Like, it's pretty respectable Ragnar turn. Interesting, you went for clear there rather than the supply depot. Which, not a bad choice, certainly, simply because, the fact that he's just been chilling there waiting for one of my replace units. Yeah, no, this is definitely the Ragnar turn now that he's got the dojo here. That's pretty devastating. It wipes out all his tombs, going to almost certainly full clear. Only downside is Ragnar is a bit displaced up here, but that's okay. He's going to get body blocked anyways. We are quickly approaching the Mordanoth turns, though, so we are starting to reach danger mode. And I guess Mordanoth actually even got a very secret buff recently. He now counts himself for his damage purposes. Ooh boy! That was a big Mordanoth. But that's what we've been saving some removal for. And now he's lost his biggest win condition here. No bounce opportunities for that. We're strategically using this tombstone just to keep this phantom horse from trading on the pirate for free. I don't think I have any last will in this deck, though, so that search will be wasted either way. Well, he definitely returned the favor of what I did with Mordanoth there. He's still got screams, though, so he's still got a real big, board skipping game ender that I do need to be worried about. So I do need to keep the pressure up, though, because if I give red any chance to breathe, screams may show up to end my little advantage I've got going on here. Alright, so some tricky... probably Wyvern Rider and Frost Giant are the play, but it's really risky to do against ninjas just because you cannot rely on Frost to stick. So with that in mind, we may need to be a little more committed into clearing and body blocking here, because otherwise we risk just losing to a Wotan. So I think what we need to do is Bone Drake, Frost Giant, Vaskerheim. A little awkward, but Traverly, Shindaru. It's actually really awkward. Maybe we do the... Yeah, okay. Yarm Lightning will let us do a full clean trade here. I don't feel like dying to a random Wotan right now. So that's our best play here. And we've got the pressure high enough that he really can't afford to pass screams because that's a huge gamble for him because there are quite a few ways that I could finish that off. But in the position he's in, it well, I mean, we briefly were in a good spot there for a chance to close this game out. But anyways, time to focus on the task at hand. So it might be a Valkyrie turn. We just need to make sure we are... Valkyrie's not a clean trade, though. I need to be very careful of getting surprised by a bounce play. Alright, so what's our best option? So we can Shindaru the Grave Knight out of the way. Then we can spawn a Drake off of that tombstone, which will clear here. That does leave us open to Wotan death up here. Maybe our better play is to suicide the... I'm running out of time. Okay, no, with the risk of Wotan existing, we have got to do some funky plays here. Well, we got all kinds of charge units out of that Valkyrie, which was a really good deal for us. Now Red's in a bit of trouble here. I've been having to make some very odd moves because of the threat of Wotan, which he may not even run, but he's definitely in some danger now. He needs either like a Drain Life or a Dracula. I suppose a really lucky Corpse Explosion could save him too. It's definitely been a really good game. Like, just the threat of having to play around Wotan there was really interesting. Uh-oh. I think that may be it, because I've got the very clean answer to the Grave Knight. Well, that was a really good game. I think this is a very nice way to close the stream out here with a nice little Valkyrie finish. Well, thanks for stopping by, everyone. Although I suppose before we close out for the day, we'll recap the deck one more time. Alright, so this is Tempo Dojo. It's the deck I brought to the tournament with a couple, small modifications since then. Basically, the principle is Dojo plus Berserk and charge units. So lots of charge, lots of Berserk, lots of early tempo with the powerful 4 health 3 drops, the Ragnar Yarm Lightning play, a little bit of replace shenanigans, which also work well with Dojo. Valkyrie to help us in the control matchups, only going for the singleton Valkyrie because there's too many other matchups that you just don't really run into spells and she's kind of dead in hand. But no, just really powerful list with a lot of devastating tempo. It's got good AoE, it's got good draw, it's got powerful pressure, and just some devastating dojo buff targets. Good control. Only thing it's a little light on is healing, but I do have the Mithril in here to help with that. Running Shaman or something is a consideration, but burn has gone down overall, and usually our just aggressive tempo, give or take a Mithril here, is enough to deal with burn. So, no, very powerful list. I think it's one of the better ones in the game, and I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm pretty sure this is our final draft. I'll do our little showcase write-up for it later, so thanks for stopping by, everyone, and we will see you all next time.